Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. What is the state of women's wrestling? Well, we know the first Evolution PLE or pay-per-view was in 2018, and it was headlined by Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. But the match of the night was a classic match between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Now, there are rumors that Evolution 2 will be sometime on the July 12th weekend in Atlanta. I believe there is a Saturday night's main event on July 12th in Atlanta, so maybe we'll see Evolution number 2 on July 13th, Sunday, July 13th in Atlanta. And the rumors for one of the big matches will be Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill. There's rumored to be 7 to 8 matches on that card on Evolution number 2, as well as a big battle royal to see all of these women get a chance to shine from NXT and WWE. I think the Evolution pay-per-view is awesome. We always want to highlight things that are important to us. For example, that's why we have certain months throughout the year that highlight, cancer or mental health awareness or whatever the case may be. You always want to shine a spotlight on something that's really, really important. And for a long time, women's wrestling was disregarded as something that was shitty that you could leave for, that wasn't important. It was over-sexualized and all of that stuff. Now, women are putting on some of the best matches in the world. I mean, Io Sky and Roxanne and Rhea Ripley, for example, are some of the pound-for-pound best professional wrestlers on the planet. I mean, I've talked about this before in AEW, but Toni Storm and Mariah May put together the best story in wrestling over the last year. And we've got to pay attention to the good things when we see them. And we've got to give people their flowers when they do amazing shit. And so we want to see an Evolution pay-per-view where it highlights, the greatness in women's wrestling. But the reason this video is being made, I was sparked by something that Rhea Ripley said on X, and I want to read it to you, and then we can sort of discuss it and break it down. This is what Rhea Ripley said via her Twitter or X account. Women's wrestling fan, quote, "Women deserve better. Same breath. She's sleeping with her boss. That's why she's where she is. She should retire. She doesn't deserve it. She's handed everything and never worked for anything. I hope she gets injured. You guys are the real reason it's so difficult to be taken seriously as a women's wrestler. If you put as much effort into your own miserable lives as you put into degrading successful women, then maybe you would accomplish something yourself." Wow, this is an absolutely unbelievable sort of tweet about sort of the reality, the real reality of the internet wrestling community and sort of the nature of the viciousness that women can be towards each other. Women really attack each other in a vicious sort of jealous way. Yes, we see how toxic the internet wrestling community is, but we also see how toxic jealous women's relationships can be and how much that's hurting the overall trajectory and seriousness of the women's division, right? Women have been trying for a while now, especially in WWE, in the Triple H era, especially to really sort of announce themselves as legit professional wrestlers, which they are 100%. But if the internet wrestling community, like Rhea Ripley has stated perfectly here, keep saying things like she's sleeping with the boss, she should retire, she deserves better, she's handed everything just because of her looks or whatever the case may be, I hope she gets injured. It's just going to keep regressing and regressing and regressing the movement and making the women who are in the trenches doing the work day by day, traveling the roads, working long hours in the trenches trying to make this thing work. It's going to make them work extra hard and extra hard and extra hard. And every time they take 2 steps forward, they take 1 step back because of how vicious and jealous and toxic women in the internet wrestling community can be. Now, maybe this is a larger conversation about fans and how we should act. 100% agree with that. We should act better. All of us should act better, especially online. But the internet wrestling community has gone nuts because there's no real repercussions or consequences for anyone's actions online behind a computer screen. Now, maybe someone sees this post or this tweet from X, which has 2.1 million impressions, and maybe they see some of their consequences to their actions. They say, oh, what I'm doing is actually hurting the thing that I'm supposedly trying to uplift, which is women's wrestling. So maybe I need to uplift and talk and encourage things that I do like and things that are going well and things that I love about women's wrestling, the matches, the promos, the attire, everything about it. I want to uplift it. And then hopefully that leads to an evolution too, where everyone loves it and it continues to progress, this women's wrestling division, which is also really important in AEW as well and WWE. So again, what Rhea Ripley is saying is that the internet wrestling community needs to be better. I mean, I know almost every single wrestling channel on the planet on YouTube says that, but I'm saying it here to you now, right? We don't need to be creepy. We don't need to follow people at the airport. We don't need to stalk them at the hotel rooms. We just need to be a fan. Being a fan of professional wrestling or a specific professional wrestler is awesome. I love it. Professional wrestling is amazing. That's why I do this channel. And you also think so. That's why you watch this channel. And we love it. But we have to have emotional parameters. We have to have boundaries. And we have to treat the wrestler like a real human. Athletes get treated like robots all the time. Same with professional wrestlers. Like they have no feelings or no families. They want safety. They want to, feel safe in their home or at the airport or when they're traveling. They want to have boundaries with their fans. They also want to give you as much as they possibly can because they deeply appreciate your fandom and your support. And so it goes both ways. If the internet wrestling community continues to act in a shitty way, what do you think the wrestlers are going to do? If the internet wrestling community changes its behavior, has some boundaries, understands personal space, and becomes less toxic and more encouraging and uplifting, the professional wrestlers and the performers will do the same because they will feel that vibe. So we got to take this Rhea Ripley post on X, take it to heart, and try to change and tweak our behavior so the whole professional wrestling culture can benefit, especially women's wrestling. And that's what I think about that. So please let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. And then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate you tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.